Good morning.
It's Thursday.
It is Friday Eve.
Thank you for waking up later with us here on Wake Up Later, Charlotte.
Wake up Charlotte later. Wake up Charlotte later.
Hey, guess what? It is Friday Eve.
That's right.
Is it Wake Up Charlotte later or Wake Up Later Charlotte? I don't know.
It was
Either
Wake Up.
I think
way,
it's later because it has a little carrot that sticks up.
Yeah.
Is there a
It's
name
supposed
somewhere?
to be behind us. What happened to that little cool graphic? Who knows?
Anybody?
anyway, let's talk about the coronavirus because
not?
honestly, this is on like every headline, every wire service, everything is coronavirus related.
Correct.
So, our president,
Say. Go ahead, Mr. President.
do you want to hear him? I don't think we have his sound.
Okay.
President Trump
Yeah, we're just speaking over the video.
Oh, okay.
The president spoke last night about the coronavirus. You know, up until last night, really downplaying it, saying it wasn't a concern, and still saying it's not that big of a concern in the United States. But he picked Vice President Mike Pence to head the whole effort on all of this.
I think Pence will do a good job. Yeah,
I mean, they have to. The bottom line is they have to do a good job. This is a concern that's happening all across
Well, he was a good choice.
the country and then also the world. You know,
It's a choice, though, we should say, that is being soundly criticized across a lot of different areas. For one, he doesn't have any medical background,
No.
which does not exclude him.
He's a
but
manager.
He's a manager, administrator, which is what I would say to those folks. But also, one of the real down points of his governorship in Indiana was an HIV outbreak in southern Indiana. It was the worst in the country at one point in 2015, and it was with intravenous drug users who were shooting themselves up with opioids. And,
With dirty needles.
And they were doing needle exchanges around other places in the country, and he slow walked it there, thinking that it's enabling drug users. And at one point in 2016, Indiana had a higher HIV outbreak than any other city in the country. And so a lot of folks are saying, wait, Jesus, if that's how he handled that, how is he going to handle something like this?
Well, he's got the eyes of the world on him.
Yeah, sure.
He's got to handle it well.
Hopefully. It also makes you wonder, how serious is the White House taking this? Because
and that's the other thing I was going to say is I don't think it's very seriously, right?
the CDC folks, the scientists over there, and also for the National Institute of Infectious Diseases, they're clearly taking it very serious. The president, for the most part, if you watched it last night, seemed at least to be playing it down.
And his tweets and everything like that
yeah.
has suggested that he doesn't think it's a problem on U.S. soil.
But
The
just because it hasn't
it's not
impacted
now.
U.S.
It's
right
not
now,
now,
we
but it
still need
could
to be
be.
vigilant.
No, I'm not saying, I'm saying I don't think that's
Yeah.
correct. I think
Yeah.
that he is downplaying it, and who knows the reasons for that. I think, number one, it's affecting the economy, and he knows that one of his biggest campaigning tools at this point is saying, are you better financially off now than you were 4 years ago? So the economy has tanked because of this as far as stocks are concerned.
It's really the world economy has.
Well, yeah, but that affects everybody.
It's a residual effect.
Correct. So my point is I think that he might be downplaying it for a number of reasons that have nothing to do with actually protecting
I was surprised.
people from the virus.
I was surprised. I'm not sure if we have the poll, but when we asked people, are they concerned about it? I was surprised. 57% said yes, because a lot of times, listen, let's be honest, folks. I mean, we're on Facebook Live. We can be all transparent. A lot of times we overhype stuff in the media.
We do, for sure.
Across the board.
It's a fact.
Whether it's this or other things we overhype. Yeah. I think that was the biggest helper in helping the president coin the phrase fake news, is because we overhype stuff.
But in this case, I feel like we've underhyped almost coronavirus.
In this case, I sort of feel like, wow, maybe it's actually registering with people.
Well, I mean, now it's not being hyped. It's just fact. Because it's on every newscast.
Sure.
Every newscast, national newscast is led with it. It's a worldwide situation, and I think people are genuinely concerned because now it's starting to affect a few people in the United States, and we're worried about it. It could have become epidemic, could have become, national. I mean, there's always a chance, but they're saying hold off until we get to warmer temperatures.
Yeah.
It's like the flu. We get to warmer temperatures. Maybe this will thin out, but we can't wait for that.
The fact of the matter is
It could
this.
be pandemic. That's the problem.
Our world is vast and large, but it really is so small when you think about it. We every day, people coming in and out of different countries and we don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I think that this just magnifies the fact that we really have to be so vigilant about health and these kinds of things. This is not going to be the first time or the last time something like this is going to happen.
Right. Overnight, there's a new case that was in California that They're not exactly sure how this person got it, which is scary.
I think Northern California.
Yeah.
Because this person's saying they didn't visit.
Yeah, so they're wondering if this was a person-to-person transmission, which would be a big deal because it would be the first
That
of
would
its
change
kind
it, yeah.
in the U.S. So we're going to be closely following specifically that case because it could mean.
So, but that's
issues.
interesting because they're saying that this person got it, but they never actually themselves went to anywhere where there was.
Yes.
So they
Which
could
is
have come in
problematic.
contact in some way. That's the scary part.
But that's what's so frightening, right?
That right there on
If
the,
you're in the
on the
public,
very
you don't
macro
know
level
who
is the
has it,
spread of
who
the
doesn't.
disease.
Right.
And you can be a carrier and not
Yeah.
really show the symptoms of it.
Well, so what they're doing is, and in airports, they're using they're using that like technology where it
Heat sensitive.
right.
Yeah.
So anyone who shows any sort of sign,
Yeah.
they're going to be quarantined.
Yeah.
That's frightening.
A lot of folks, because this is now affecting every continent outside of Antarctica, that a lot of folks that have any travel plans.
Like Italy, who would have thought?
Italy, exactly. And folks are at companies here in Charlotte are being told, hey, if you go anywhere in the next month or two that's remotely close to any of these places, you need to work from home for 2 weeks.
Because they have these levels, right? So like Italy, I think is like a level 2. But like I would have never in a million years thought going to Italy for a trip would have any sort of repercussions when it comes to
But it's a global
coronavirus.
travel. I mean,
Right, but that's what's so
Italy
interesting
is a
about the whole thing.
destination from
Yeah.
around the world. If you think of the airport in Rome, people come from all over
From
the world.
everywhere.
Connecting flights right there.
So wait, people
I saw
are
it.
being told to stay home from their.
Yeah, like
work from home?
at the banks or Vanguard, or like one of our local financial institutions here in town.
And in that case, they can, but if you have this job,
I will not be allowed to stay home when I come back from my trip in April.
so then you could be giving me coronavirus, is what you're saying.
Yes, all of it.
If you
Oh,
think,
wow.
if you
Stay
just
home.
if you look at the big picture,
That
of this,
freaks
if you-
me out.
If
Right?
you go down the road and just try to imagine if it does become a pandemic and it's that situation here, there are occupations where you can't work from home. So what happens? then?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, this is an example.
I'm being,
100%,
and by the way, I was kind of joking, but I'm not. Like if because Ben has a trip planned to
Thailand.
and you go through Hong Kong, if Ben comes back to work and has the coronavirus,
He could easily
we will
spread
all be
of that to us.
Ben.
I'll FaceTime in.
But you got to think about this. Like, don't get me sick, dude.
I mean, it's so. I mean, obviously, we want you to have the best trip, but it's also scary because this is happening, in the world, and anything can happen.
We talk at home. There's a very 50-50 chance that this trip will not happen or might happen.
Yeah.
So,
There's always Antarctica.
There's always Antarctica. Hey,
I'm looking this up.
Hey, that
I
would
would
be
like
really
to do
cool.
it.
I would love to go there.
All right, a lot of people are talking
I
on our
would
Facebook
too.
Live right now. It looks like
Super expensive to
Ann
go.
Booth says that she's worried. A lot of people are talking about masks, but didn't we say masks are on back order everywhere? But we did them.
But masks also don't-
Here's the
That's
deal.
not doing
The doctors
anything.
say that the masks don't do anything, but I will tell you, as a person who's going to Asia,
Will you be wearing one?
I will be wearing a mask. Absolutely.
Just for your own security, but if you know they don't do anything.
But also because we touch our face constantly. So at a minimum,
yeah.
it will keep me from touching my face.
That's a good point, right
You know,
there.
like I get
Keep your
it.
hands out of your mouth.
I get that it's not like, a hermetically sealed, container around me, but it's something that has got to help at least to some degree.
Yeah.
Well, I am typing in, no joke, right now I'm Googling, chances of getting coronavirus going through Bangkok airport.
Yeah, go for it. Let me know.
Timmy wants to know what level is Japan. Do we know that?
Japan, I think, is the second level. I think there's Japan, South Korea, but I feel like
Level
Italy is the
2?
first. Yeah, it might be number 2.
South Korea had a major outbreak of this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, and it's really impacted because it's a big exporter of goods, and it has a hub there that's a big exporter, which helps.
When you think about just the impact that this has just on places like Thailand, so much of the industry there is tourism.
Yes.
This is a global economy now. I mean, this is the result of a global economy.
This says Thailand is going to take a huge hit.
Yep.
Kathy right now is saying, I'm not overly concerned right now. The president is playing it down because he doesn't want people to panic. I think state officials are doing all they can right now. We have other people saying they're just paying attention to the CDC guidelines and just praying and then just washing their hands. But a lot of people are talking about these masks and how they're on back order right
If you
now.
think about historically, this is a first. We've never seen anything like this in modern times in the United States. They had the major flu outbreak back in World War I, which was nationwide. It's been really that long Since we have a thing that could affect so many people, and so there's a little bit of amount of a panic. There's also the naivete about it. And then what do you do? I'm sure even local governments are like, what do we do?
Sure.
Yeah.
And I think it's a learning process, but let's learn it quickly.
Well, because if you listen to the scientists,
Japan's level 3 now, by the way.
if you listen to scientists with the president last night, I mean, they're talking like this will happen.
Yeah.
You know, this is going to happen. This is going to come. It's going to be here. We're going to. But it's just a matter of how bad it is, and the mortality rate. The mortality rate on this is the big deal, and it's changing and shifting. And they've said it's like, maybe 2%. To give you some idea, I think the flu is like 0.01%, so it is substantially more than that. And when you look at thousands of people, 2% is a lot
That's
of
a lot
people.
of people, yes.
That's a lot. That is a deadly, deadly
When you're
thing.
among those 2%, or you're a
Or you
family
know
member,
someone, yes.
I mean,
Ben
that's
Anbooth says
frightening.
where you're going isn't safe. Drea Klein says if Ben goes, he can't come back to work.
I know.
I
they're
don't
letting you know
honestly.
before
So
you
I'm
go.
reading this right now. This is the latest thing out of Bangkok, and it's saying that the problem now is that the tourism industry there is so big, and that tour operators, a lot of them running out of Thailand, have an issue on their hands because they have people like Ben Thompson who have already paid money.
Yep.
Yeah.
They can't refund that money because they're still being responsible to pay.
Yep.
Which
So
is
then,
crazy. You would think they would refund it because of something so
no,
serious
because
like that.
most airlines at this point, like there's a long list of like the bigger the bigger planes.
I spent an hour and a half on Monday and Tuesday night, each respectively, an hour and a half on the phone with American.
Yeah, you know firsthand, right? Are they refunding?
They are offering refunds in certain cases.
Correct. So that's the thing. So people are saying, well, I don't want to lose out on my
So
money.
you're gonna go
I'm going to
and
go.
risk.
Yeah.
And now, like places like Tel Aviv, like Israel, saying we can't, we will not allow people from Thailand to come.
Here's the deal: if you have any trip that you want to cancel full out, the airlines, from my experience, were very responsive and like, here's your money.
They're saying the smaller ones are not.
If, however, you want to go, the airlines, I feel like, are also using it as an opportunity to get themselves out of a bad situation. Because they're like, here,
travel
take
at your own
money.
risk.
Yeah, take your money back, because
You would think that all of them would do that, though.
they are taking on losses themselves, and they also, once you start looking for other flights, the other flights are like $4,000, $5,000, $6,000.
So my question is,
So
what happens if you try to get your money back?
Oh,
Yeah.
the responsibility of that.
What
Yeah, they
happens
don't
if
want
you
it.
try to get your money back from some place that didn't allow you to get your money back, but then you come back with something,
Oh, exactly.
So
The risk is so big.
That's why I
Ben,
understand
I don't
why
think
they're
you should.
just
I'm not even kidding. I don't think you should go.
I don't think you
and
should
I
go
know
either.
you said you're going to go.
Don't go.
But I don't want you to go. And I
don't
certainly
want you to
don't
come
want you to
back.
come back here.
Don't
No, I
come
know.
back.
I know.
You're going to. I'm going to talk to our bosses.
I'll be honest. The biggest concern is we changed our flights going over to go through Japan, because Japan is less of an issue than, say, going through China or Hong Kong or things like that. So it's a bit safer if you do Tokyo.
Is that nonstop from Tokyo to Bangkok?
Yes. So that was good news. The bad news is since we'd already booked, and we booked back before all this happened, flying back, we were trying to fly back through Japan, and they won't let us. They want us to go through Hong Kong. And I'm like,
No, Ben.
We just don't go.
And they will not change the flight.
Kathy said, buy Lysol, it kills the
They say they'll refund the money, but they will not change the Hong Kong
that
flight.
right?
Yeah, and we're like, guys, Hong Kong, like, we know that's an issue. Like this, I talked to a lady on the phone, a perfectly pleasant lady.
Just
on
in the
Tuesday night.
airport in Hong Kong, Ben, you're
And I
being
was like-
exposed to
I was
so
like,
much.
You guys know how this is going to end. You know that this flight's probably not going to happen, for one. Or for two, you're going to end up with enormous issues with it. Why are you going to continue this?
People are rooting right
would you
now.
not want
Don't
to go
go,
back
Ben.
the European route? Go that way.
The problem with the European route, and we did look into that.
Yeah.
The problem with the European route is, and I'm sorry, everybody listening to this, you won't care
They're
about my
saying
No, they
don't
do.
go.
But-
They're saying don't go. Someone said, well, we still have Flashpoint on WCNC.
Yes, it might be from Hong
I
Kong.
might take it over.
I might be wearing a mask, and it might
People
be
are
from Hong
saying,
Kong.
don't go and don't come back. People are going crazy, Ben.
Yeah, because I'm
They're
agreeing.
saying
Like
don't go.
I was talking to my sister about this. My sister's like, Carolyn, you cannot come here and visit me and my children if Ben comes back from Hong Kong
Yeah.
and is standing by you and that close.
I know.
Like don't
We're
go.
already indicting Ben. He's not even
Because I don't want him to go.
To answer your question, going the European way adds like another 10, 15 hours to the trip.
Right. But it's a safer way.
But it's also getting more expensive, a lot more expensive.
Oh,
and I mean, you look at Italy. I mean, Europe is
Well,
pretty
go to Athens.
soon.
Go to Athens.
Pretty soon, Europe is going to be just.
I went the Athens way.
I
don't know.
Yeah.
From
Right now,
Bangkok.
Tina Reidenhauer says kids at her grandson's elementary school are terrified. Please talk to your children and reassure them they already have enough to worry about, practicing lockdowns,
That's
etc. Be
right.
calm for them.
Yeah, she's right. I'm not calm though when it comes to Ben standing next to me and breathing on
Right?
me.
He doesn't have it, I swear he
in
doesn't.
all
He's
seriousness,
Not now.
In all seriousness, I was told that if we fly through Hong Kong, they will test us in Hong Kong. We will have to go through a couple of tests before we get on the plane for the States.
And then if anything is...
And if there's anything,
Which is better than nothing.
hinky about the whole thing, I will be stuck in Hong Kong for 2
Well,
weeks.
you know they have great food.
I hope
Great
so.
food. Hong Kong, I love Hong Kong. It's a
I've never
great
been.
place.
I would actually love to
It's
go to
a
Hong Kong
great
and
place
spend
to
time
be.
there.
It's ultra modern, first of all.
Oh, Larry,
Thank you, Larry.
Yeah.
We were actually talking about in Japan, in Tokyo, we have like a 7-8 hour layover, and we were talking about if we can go into the city and like explore this. Because I've never been to Tokyo. I would love to go to Tokyo, but
I'm reading all about this and I'm freaked out
The
now.
problem with that is it's such a long trip from the airport to
Yeah,
Tokyo.
exactly.
And you won't have but like an hour or
Exactly.
two, and then you
I
got
know.
ads, whatever the
That's-
time.
Then just don't go. Pastor Earl, not Earl, I'm sorry. Pastor Carl says stay home and have a case of Coronas instead.
yeah, the real
Oh my God, that's the best idea.
Right?
I think
Right?
Antarctica is the trip to take.
You know, I have looked into that. It is
No, really, wouldn't that be
crazy
I know.
expensive. Antarctica is crazy expensive.
But I mean, that's such a once in a lifetime.
Oh, that's what it's
For
the adventure
sure.
of it. Are you cold? Yes. Are you miserable? Yes. Do you have like no daylight? Yes. But
It's Antarctica. How many
It's
people have
Antarctica.
been there?
Exactly. I know.
So we support the change over to
I-
Antarctica. That's what
I need to stop reading this because I'm getting freaked out. Ben, I'm talking to
Go
our
for it,
bosses.
but
I'm not
it's
kidding.
everywhere, though. It's everywhere.
But I think you need to be quarantined.
Honestly, what is the likelihood of you going versus not?
He's going. I know him.
No. I think it's fairly because in fairness, my parents, Brad's parents, they're all fairly concerned about this.
Yes.
Anyway, and for understandable reasons. So I honestly would say at this point we're very 50-50 about the whole thing.
And when is
Please
it?
don't
If, you
go.
don't
If it
mind
gets
me
worse,
asking? When
then
is
we
it? Is
probably
it
won't
soon?
go. It's April 6th or no,
Okay.
April 3rd. I
It's
believe.
very soon.
It's very soon, but still kind of far away.
Well, the
for,
sooner it is,
It's
you
not
get
kind of
there.
far away. It's like a month.
I mean,
It's a month.
We still have
I'll
March.
file live reports.
Can you
from
go
Bangkok.
sooner? Maybe you can go sooner.
Right?
Larry, stop joking.
No joking.
Kristen
I don't
Miller
want
says,
Bangkok.
Kristen,
I don't want that, but I'm sure these are great places. I don't want Edison to get
Ben is
coronavirus.
going into the Lions Den. They're
Can
eating you
animals
up.
get it?
Yes.
Kristen Miller says, I'm going to need updates if you go there. Hourly checks.
Live shots, live shots.
I'll do live reports.
Yes, live shots.
Oh, you will
From the
need
beach
to.
in Phuket.
Facebook Lives.
Yes.
Hey,
I-
welcome back to Wake Up Charlotte
Facebook
later.
Lives. I'll have
Here's
my
Ben.
I'll have my mask on.
I'm not okay with any of this.
All seriousness, it is a serious issue.
It is.
And it's something that we are taking seriously. And,
Okay, good.
I honestly don't know if it's going to happen yet.
And what has the tour company said to you? Because they booked through a tour.
Yeah. And there is trip insurance. So far, the trip insurance, I don't.
Hasn't kicked in yet?
Yeah, it hasn't kicked in yet. I
Don't you think it will?
Probably so. Probably so. So
But if you had not got the trip insurance, would you just be...
probably screwed. And a lot of these, independent little operators,
Yeah.
their business is going to be like.
Do you always get
troubles,
trip insurance? I never do.
I never do.
No, but the
Something
company,
like this,
the
oh, for
company
sure.
highly encouraged. They said make sure you get it before
Yeah.
any of this happens. So
A lot of caveats for trip insurance.
Right?
it really
In
is.
this case.
Yeah,
Well,
but
of
in
course,
this-
we'll keep you updated on any new developments
Go to
when it comes
Canada.
the coronavirus. How much time do we have? I know we have a couple of other stories that we can
Oh,
talk about.
30 seconds.
All right, we don't have...
no more time.
So everyone,
We'll continue tomorrow.
continue to harass Ben to not go.
Right?
And in the meantime, look
Don't
forward
go,
to
Ben.
Flashpoint from Hong Kong.
Yes.
There-
No.
I'm kidding. Thanks,
Wow.
guys.
What's the capital?
Okay, bye.